Good evening, everyone. My name's David. Welcome to Hearts of Wulin, Storm of Falling Blossom. So, Hearts of Wulin is a game currently in development by Agatha Cheng and Lord Francis. It's a powered by the Apocalypse game, so inspired by games such as Apocalypse World itself, obviously, and Monster Hearts, Masks, and others. It, however, is set in the Wulin world, the world of wuxia heroes in a sort of legendary China. So if you're familiar with films like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Hero, the old Shaw Brothers films, it's very much in that vein, inspired specifically by the sort of longer form Chinese dramas like Smiling Proud Wanderer and others. The idea of the game is it's a sort of very melodramatic game in which the characters will get into all sorts of complicated relationships with one another and solve most of their problems by having high-powered martial arts fights rather than just sitting down and having a conversation. So the game we're running this evening is as part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. So the Gauntlet is an online role-playing game community, specifically focusing on indie games, sort of from the whole range, from sort of OSR stuff through to sort of story games and everything in between. We have a website at gauntlet-rpg.com. We've got on there forums, the Hangouts calendar itself, where you can sign up to play games like this one. We also publish some series of podcasts on various different topics. Well, a number of different topics within the worlds of RPGs, and a monthly zine called Codex, which all the information about that and the other things can be found at the website. As I say, Hearts of Wulin is currently in development. I believe it's will hopefully be going to Kickstarter in May. That's certainly the last I've heard. So until then, the best way of finding out more about it is to go to the Gauntlet forums and probably hear more about it there. Follow Gauntlet on Twitter, as this is being published by the Gauntlet, so you'll find out more about it there. So without further ado, I will introduce, or well, I'll get my players here to introduce themselves before we go around and get their characters introduced and start play. So my name is David. I use he/him pronouns. I'm based in the UK. And so again, I'll just go through in order of the character keeper and ask if you can introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Ferret or Sawyer. Either one's fine. I use he/him pronouns, and I am currently in Tennessee in America.
Hi, I'm Pavel. I'm from Central Europe. I use he/him pronoun. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm also in the UK. I'm a he/him as well.
Also, hi, I'm Alex. I'm located in Sweden at the moment, and I go by he/him.
Brilliant, thank you, everyone. So yeah, we will in a moment we'll introduce characters. The first thing I want to do, though, is just go over some of our safety tools we'll be using today. So in order to play, in order to ensure we're sort of playing in a fun and safe environment, we utilize a couple of tools to ensure that everyone's cool with that. As I was saying earlier, broadly speaking, Hearts of Wulin doesn't play to a particularly extreme or challenging content, but it's still worthwhile playing safe rather than not. The underlying principle we all sort of adhere to as part of running games in the Gauntlet Hangouts is the Gauntlet inclusivity policy. What this is basically, to sort of boil it down to the very bare details, so you can find out more about this at the website, is that we are going to treat one another here as sort of friends. We accept we're here to play a game. We will treat each other well, treat each other with kindness. That's sort of broadly it. It said nothing too complicated. The other thing we have as part of the Hangouts is we operate an open door policy. What this is to say that basically, if at any point during the game, whether it's because like you're not happy with where the game's gone or with the content of the game, whether it's because you just realize you're really tired, or you get a phone call as an emergency or whatever and you have to leave, that's perfectly fine. You can just log out at any point. That's always an option that's available to you. You don't have to explain why if you do not want to, but you can also just drop me a line and let me know if something comes up. This also goes for if you just need to take a break for a minute, whether that be because, again, you get a phone call coming you have to take. A scene might just get a bit intense and you just want to take a quick breather. Anything else, if you just need to take a break, again, feel free to do so. Again, you don't need to notify me, but if you can, if you wish. And finally, we'll be using the not finally. We are also using lines and veils. So the idea with lines and veils is lines are things that we will not mention, we will not bring up in game, we won't feature at all as part of the game. It's just content we're not interested in dealing with. Veils are things where the content itself can feature in the game, but we won't dwell on it in any particular detail. So we might just fade to black in a scene when that content comes up. We might just allude to it, or we otherwise just avoid making it the focus of a scene. And we've had a discussion about those offline. We've got a little list we're working from, but I don't believe in sort of sharing that publicly. So we've got that offline. Finally, the final safety tool we are using is the X card. So if you're not aware of it, the X card is basically a tool that's just designed to stop the game briefly when content comes up that you're not happy with, so that we can remove that content or find some other way around it, so that we're not featuring stuff people don't want in there. You can activate the X card by holding up your hands like this to make an X sign, typing X in the chat saying I'd like to X card that, or using there's a button in Roll for Your Party that lets you use the X card as well. If anything comes up and you do feel like you need to use the X, so this may be because it's just content you're not comfortable with dealing with, that's unpleasant or whatever for you. That's fine. It might also be because just tonally you're not that happy with it and you think that maybe the scene would be better if we did something different instead. Anything like that's perfectly fine to use the X card for. If you do use the X card, I won't ask you to justify using it. I might ask you to clarify exactly what it is that you are X carding, just so that we know to avoid it going forwards. But as I said, you don't need to justify your call. That's for you to make. Conversely, if you do get X carded, if content that you bring in gets X carded, don't take it personally. We don't always know what we're not going to like until it's there. Just accept that we're going to move on from that. Don't feel the need to kind of apologize or justify or anything else. We'll just move on. I think that covers us for safety tools. So as I said, in this game, it's sort of set in a legendary China. We won't be adhering particularly closely to historical accuracy. We'll just mostly be going for sort of tonal verisimilitude than complete accuracy to anything. We'll be set in a sort of large provincial city. It's early spring. The blossom is on the trees. And there are festivities in town to welcome the new spring. There'll be feasting and other celebrations going on. And most importantly of all, this is kind of a banner event in the Wulin world. There will be kind of exhibitions of skill and contests throughout the city as part of the festivities. Great warriors from around the country will be in attendance, and perhaps more importantly, it's an opportunity for those new to the Wulin world to show off and make a name for themselves. So, amidst the festivities, we will be meeting these 4 characters. And once again, I'll go through in order of the character keeper, and I'll just ask you to give a sort of brief introduction to your characters. And then once we've all introduced those, we'll do the next part of character creation that we haven't done. The rest of it we've sort of done prior to this recording, and we'll create the entanglements, which are the ties that bond all of these characters and NPCs together, and we'll create a little bit of a world for them. But first, if I can just ask people to introduce their characters. So once again, if you'll take us away, please, Sawyer.
Okay, I am playing Lian Shang of the Shang clan faction. Her look includes having overly ornate hair pieces, tons of fresh flowers always, every day new ones, immaculate robes, flashy accessories, and masterful makeup. She is the favored eldest of the clan, and at least her part of the clan, the way I'm imagining the Shang clan is sort of like this large extended family. So like for maybe in her house, she's the one that's going to take over. Maybe like then further on, but she doesn't even want that. That's too much responsibility. The money, the prestige, everything else like that, perfectly fine. Not so much anything else. Moves-wise, I am also the favorite eldest. I eat, drink, and be merry for free. Everyone knows my family's good for it. Anyone who wants to party with me, you also do it for free. I have It Takes a Thief. I can slip from any restraint or pass through any door or window as if it were open. I also do this fighting style. I can fight elegantly and don't wrinkle or mess up anything I'm fighting in. I'm also a golden knight. I have a lavish wardrobe. Whenever I would look bed-raggled or dirty, I'm clean or spotless in the next scene. Maybe in the same outfit, maybe in a new one, because it also gives me an assistant. My assistant is Miss Gimhui, who was my tutor in proper courtly behavior until I corrupted her. But she can so fast. That's Lian.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. So yeah, Pavel, if you'd like to introduce. So
I'm playing Ming, also known as Red Lotus, also known to very few as a Yellow Whisper. Ming is from Black Fox Brotherhood faction, who are sort of like bandits and righteous rebels, perhaps a little bit of both. She herself is like a thief. She steals from the rich and the corrupted and exposes the corruption within the governmental bodies and clans. She also likes to perform. Last time I think my character was playing some instruments, so this time I'm thinking more of like a circus performer, like walking on lines, throwing knives, I don't know, dangerously riding on horses while shooting bow or something like this, like Legolas tricks. Now I have to go into proper fiction, so no Legolas here. Yeah, Ming looks like a almost commoner but slightly above version. Like, she would really like to look as Lian, but she never cannot. She isn't so wealthy, but she still has like a very long and nicely made hair. She has this like powerful, relaxing smile that makes everyone like around her like feel good and feel happy. She has a very porcelain skin, which I consider like very white. Yeah, I think she was walking with the umbrella, not to get too much skin tan. She has a very small body, but she wears stylish dresses as much as her standing can afford her, and some simple jewelry. And moves wise, I'm trained in assassinations and stealth. I can move undetected. And I can play some traps, which is kind of very funny because I say a flashback. Yeah, there was a trap, and this guy just triggered it, and something will happen. And also a trickster, which we will see, because I can always persuade everyone have some proper arguments, which I might not have, but we will see how it goes. Yeah, I think that's Ming. And aesthetic-wise, there were two main actresses in Crouched Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and I'm not thinking about Michelle Yeoh. I'm thinking about the other one. I right now don't remember her name, but that's kind of like the aesthetic-wise.
Chang Ziyi?
Probably.
Yeah.
I looked her up. Yeah, I looked her up, but I forgot the name. I'm sorry.
Cool. That's brilliant. Thank you. Dave, if you'd like to introduce your character.
I will. I am playing Wei Xiaobao, who is a member of the unorthodox and forbidden 11 Devil Perfection Society, who are masters of forbidden matters and tasks of Qi. He is, if you were to look upon him currently, wild-haired, lively eyes, unassuming and wearing traveling clothes, looking as if he was nothing but a passing and lowly beggar. In reality, he is the Beggar King of the 11 Devil Perfection Society, but he has hidden himself quite so well that he's forgotten exactly who he is. And as a result, his memory and his true actions are hidden from himself at this point. As an unorthodox playbook, he is not a master of martial arts at all. Anything he does is accidental and chaotic, and as a result, he does not have a lovely, lively weapon like everyone else. He is unarmed most of the time and looks quite flustered if he gets into a fight. Equally, his order and his sect are still protecting him through shadow boxing, so they will be potentially around and ahead and behind him, sorting out things as he travels through his merry, unwitting adventures. So yes, he is a hidden, so well hidden to try and keep himself away from his rivals. He has forgotten and hidden who he is.
Nice. And finally, Alex.
Yes, so I will be playing Lin Min, which he's a part of the Iron Hand Protection League, which are the fervent upholders of justice. And, well, they are my idols. Although, to be fair, I think I'm mostly in there for the action and be a hero, and not for the justice itself. Lin Min is a student, and he has wild hair, some like hopeful eyes, and he's wearing worn and dirty robes because, well, looks are overrated. Being a true hero is more important. He's in his first steps out in the world, but as you realized, he's really confident that he's already a hero. I'm pretty confident that he will soon realize otherwise, though. With regards to moves, I'm a hopeful apprentice, which means I have to prove myself and my natural talent, of course. And when I go to battle with someone above my scale, I don't lose immediately, and I can use my chi to, well, keep them busy. Of course, I'm not winning, but can keep the conflict going a bit. I have Face to Fate. Starting the session, getting a roll, and well, if I fail, the MC will have interesting things to do. If I don't, I get to keep that roll and be able to exchange it with another one at any point. And lastly, I have Sacrifice. Whenever I'm wounded, all of my allies gain +1 forward.
Nice. That's cool. So now we've got the characters introduced. As I said, there's one sort of final piece of well, two final pieces technically of character creation that we need to go through to get everyone ready. So each player, well, each character will have 2 entanglements. One will be romantic, one will be a general one. There are some lists of these entanglements that the players will be choosing from. Each entanglement is essentially a relationship which features 2 other people as well as the character themselves. So each one will essentially be creating a triangle relationship. The relationship can include 2 PCs. It can include an NPC and a PC, or it can contain 2 NPCs, depending on what you think is most appropriate for it. The only restriction is that at least one of your entanglements has to involve at least 1 PC, but you're willing to play about with that as you see fit. So I think what we'll do is, again, we'll go back to our old favorite of going in character keeper order. You can choose one of your entanglements that you want to populate, and suggest who you think might fit in it, and then I'll probably ask a couple more questions just to flesh out the entanglement. As I mentioned already offline, but mechanically the purpose of these entanglements is that you sort of embroil yourself in them, and by doing so, if you've kind of engaged with those entanglements, then at the end of the session you'll gain some XP for it. It's the primary source of XP in this game. Also, I should mention, obviously, at this point, when you are populating these entanglements, you are free to create NPCs as appropriate to fill them out. We can have a chat about those and flesh those people out a bit more as we go through. Lian Shang, do you want to choose one of your entanglements? So it can be either the romantic or the general one, whichever you want.
I have
to do
ideas for both, but for first one, I'll do the romantic one.
Yeah.
I cannot choose between Yellow Whisper or Lin Min. And specifically Yellow Whisper, not Ming. But because I can't figure out which one would piss off my mom the most.
Nice.
Wait, Yellow Whisper and Ming?
No, so I think that was Yellow Whisper and Lin Min.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I still that like she not Ming, but Yellow Whisper.
Cool. So if I have to pick a name to use, Red Lotus, if we can learn your first.
Yes, so my entanglements are really like imposing on other players' characters. So if you are not happy with this, we can like always change it. But it basically reads: I rejected blank, but blank who I desire loves them, and I would like to feel it in that I rejected some NPC, but another PC who I desire loves them, and I think I had some idea, but I completely forgot them. Yeah, I think Lin Min, like I would like to desire your character, to desire you, but there's an NPC who you love, and I rejected them. So, do you have any idea who that NPC can be?
Not really. I had an idea about a PC actually, but
Like I think our characters can have multiple loves and then like trouble with picking.
Canon probably will. Yeah.
But like I say, it's a little bit imposing that you also love them. It's like written in my entanglement. So
feel free to come up with one. And
what about Lin Min's? Didn't Lin Min have a father who trained them? Someone who trained Lin Min. That could be quite fun.
Oh yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but then it would mean that I rejected your father, but I desire you, and you love your father. It's like a very weird.
This is a romantic entanglement. Yeah.
Yes.
This is like you romantically desire.
Yes.
NPC.
Yeah. Yes, I have. Yes, I completely forgot to mention that this is a romantic one. So yeah.
I'd say just put a name there or something, and we will flesh them out.
Okay. Any preference, male or female?
Improvise.
Okay. Her name is. Her name is Sue. So I rejected Sue, but Lin Min, who I desire, loves them. Yeah, I was thinking about this Sue. I think that maybe would be that I rejected. I'm like a bandit and a rebel.
Is Sue maybe a member of the Protection League?
Yeah, I was thinking that would be like really good. So the idea was that to like if we were together, maybe like my clan would be a little bit like less seen as the bandits and rebels. But I said no, I'm not into this. But now the person I want is in love with them. So
yeah, that sounds cool. Cool. That's great. So yeah, Dave, do you want to do your first? Again, it can be either the romantic or general, whichever one you want to lead off with.
I'm happy to go with the romantic one. I'm just deciding. I'll often to see out of Lian Shang and Ming who fancies this. I'm thinking I'm disguising myself to get close to one of them, but one of your lovers suspects and hates me. It would specifically be Ming and not Yellow Whisper, so that could be quite fun. Or it could be with Lian Shang, and Lian Shang has got some stiff, courtly lover. Does anyone have a desire to play with one of those?
Oh, I do like the idea that I have like this proper lover, because just from the last game I was in, this wife of the thief was really fun, and I think David knows this wife very well. But I would love like that character trope to come back, like yeah. So
I'm way down with that threat. So I will say that the reason I'm disguised myself and hidden my memory is to get close to.
Well, that's what I'm like. Is this is the way like is your accidental persona how you're disguising to get close to me?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Okay.
That's what I've done. I've tried to hide myself as a beggar so well. I've frankly cocked it up.
Oh, this is going to go very well.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
So I'm thinking like there's this beggar you sort of half recognize who is desperate to get close to you, and we get into all sorts of entanglements with your militaristic lover who will have none of it. You need to name that character. Let's go and have a look at the.
Yeah. If you want to grab a name off there, or just come up with something.
Let's call him. Let's call him Zen. Cause all sorts of fun.
Excellent. So yeah, Jen is. Do you think, maybe a young military officer?
Yeah, either a young military officer or a noble, someone of good standing, but is definitely trained in more formal military arts. I think.
Yeah.
If they're of high standing, maybe someone like a magistrate in the city, maybe something along those sort of lines might be quite fun, especially being a member of a forbidden sect.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool. So in fact, we'll just say Magistrate Cheng is.
From what we already know of Lian Shang's mother, it seems like a good and proper relationship.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is definitely if that's cool with you, Lian. I definitely see this is a courtship. This is
this is like Chinese chivalry.
Exactly.
I am a prize. I am an object. I am there.
Yes. Cool. So I'm just taking some notes down as to do this. Finally, Lin Min. Again, you can lead off with either your general or your romantic, whichever you fancy.
Oh yeah, that's definitely romantic. I have to close the circle or the whatever shape we've created. So I humiliated myself in front of Blanc, who I desire, and Blanc will let no one forget it. So for the first Blanc, I was thinking of Wei Xiaobao. So I humiliated myself in front of Wei Xiaobao, who I desire, and as long as Dave is okay with that,
I'm really happy with that. What did Lin Min do to humiliate themselves so?
Excellent question. I think it had something like he tried to show off his martial arts prowess by not in so much public space. I don't know. I think, let's say, tried to fight someone definitely above their scale, but with almost no reason. So it was like trying to provoke them, and they got a lesson learned fast, and lesson in humility. And now, who will let no one forget about it? Initially, I would think maybe someone from us, but if there are any volunteers, feel free to step in. But if not, can choose an NPC.
I was just thinking, what if you tried to, and you got in trouble with Magistrate Shen, and that means it could be Lian Shang.
How does Lian Shang feel about that?
I am definitely down for that because I don't think I love you. I love you romantically more as an idea, and I can definitely see it's like it could have been even that you fought me and lost.
Yes, that sounds great.
And since I fought since I can fight and drink wine and eat a fancy meal at the same time, it was extra humiliating.
Yep. And of course, I blamed it on the wine that I hadn't drunk yet.
Brilliant. Cool. So we will go back around to Lian for your other entanglement.
Okay. This is my clan senior, and our clan senior is Auntie Shang, and who's my mother, suspects that my friend Wei Xiaobao works against our faction. But she's paranoid, so I mean, what does she know? And I mean, he's cool. I buy him drinks. He talks to me. No one cool's going to be against our faction.
Yeah, that sounds fair. She knows more about Wei Xiaobao's motivations than he does, so you know. Cool. So yeah, Red Lotus.
So I was thinking that I took part in a crime against an NPC who is my friend blank sibling, and I was thinking that Lian Shang, do you have a sibling for any reason?
I have tons of them.
Cool. So I was thinking that this is quite recently, and I'm not yet sure how I would feel about it. I think I would try to maybe get this back. I thought that this was some incriminating evidence, that maybe it was some love letters to three different boys or girls, depending what's their preference. And if they get public, he will be humiliated, and maybe others won't get them back because it wasn't what I thought. I was thought it would be some incriminating evidence. He's corrupted or something, but it's not. This is the line I'm thinking about.
I maybe this is how I fell for Yellow Whisper. I was helping my brother deliver what I thought was Shang family secrets.
Mm-hmm.
And you thought were Shang family secrets too, which they are technically. They're his love letters to his misters and mistresses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Cool.
So,
do you want me to name my brother?
Of course.
Sure thing.
I'll say Yuan Shang. Yuan.
Yuan. Hope I get it right. So your brother, so this particular sibling is older or younger?
He's technically younger, but because he's my twin, he's only 2 minutes younger.
Good. For a minute there, I thought we weren't going to have any twins, but no, that's. Yeah, that's perfect. So, Wei Xiaobao.
So, so working on the principle of probably having a relationship to every character is in some way inbound or outbound is best. So I'm thinking my sibling, Ming, and I were separated by birth, and someone has raised them to destroy my clan, because it does feel like the Black Fox Brotherhood and the 11 Devil Perfection Society might not get on so well.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I like that. Yeah, I guess
okay with that?
Yes, sure. That's really perfect.
Cool. So yeah, we'll just need a name for their guardian, I guess.
I think more like
who was separated and who is that's the question. Or maybe we both were separated and we can have no parents and two clans raised us.
Yeah, that's perfectly that's perfectly fine. You weren't neither of you were necessarily raised by your actual parents. Yeah, who was it that who do you think it was that raised Red Lotus?
I think the name Wei is also very popular in fantasy China, and I think Wei is my mentor. He taught Red Lotus about her art.
Cool.
Is that Wei spelt in the same way? Sorry. Sorry, it's like that. So, Wei.
I think I'm going to refer to him as Patient Wei.
Yeah.
So we've got a slight.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
Cool. Awesome. Cool. So, and finally, Lin Min, your final and your final one.
So I suspect insert name here of evil, but insert another name here who I respect believes in them. I'm thinking of choosing an NPC for the first one.
Yep, certainly. Yeah, you can either choose an established one or pick someone new.
I will just introduce one more.
Yep, that's cool.
What happens? I suspect Sun Feng of evil, and they are some sort of noble around here, maybe connected to the Shang clan, maybe not. But who would believe in them? Who do I respect? I think I will go for Ming, Red Lotus.
Sure thing.
Okay, so who is this person?
It's a noble. Do we want to connect them to the Shang clan? Sounds like it. Yeah, I was asking permission of the Shang clan representative here, and I got it.
could be a vassal clan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I believe that they are not evil. Okay.
I suspect them of evil. We will see who's right, but
Oh, if I may, maybe they're the way Yellow Whisper learned about the Shang family secrets, like an insider.
Yeah, perfectly cool.
Yeah, so they I've just made the note that they're potentially connected to the Black Fox. That's something we might find out in play, but that's cool. No, that's perfect. So we've got all of those entanglements set up. The last little bit I'm going to do, then we'll take. So actually, one thing we will do is you can each highlight one of those entanglements. So you just like color in the background in a different color or whatever. And basically, if you interact with the entanglement that you have selected this session, you will gain more XP at the end. It's a little bonus thing, and it kind of gives a bit of focus for you, essentially, especially as we'll only have probably about an hour or so of actual playtime. So but the other thing that I'm going to do is I just have a couple of establishing questions for each of you, which will kind of give you a reason why, so we can explore exactly what it is that you're doing here, and what might be kicking off as we begin the game. So I think given the abundance of Shang family members, I think it's safe to say that there is probably, if not the ancestral home of the Shang in this city, probably at least a significant estate that they own is here. Cool. And the others will have things to do. So yes, I will ask these in order that I've got them written down in my little screen, which is actually not far off of the order I've been using so far. So, Lian, what duty are you supposed to be performing for your family as part of these festivities? And why are you worried you'll fail? Or I suppose possibly not worried, but why do you think you'll fail?
I'm supposed to, like, they actually are playing to my strength, and I'm pretty sure this is just to make sure I do it. It's a bit of coercion, but I'm to make sure the festivities are festive. And I don't know if we can get everything I want. Like, I have a specific brand of wine I like. The steamed buns from the 2 prefects over are better than 1 prefect over. And if I don't get this down perfect, they might make me do something boring next time.
Excellent. So yeah, you're kind of in manic party organization mode. Perfect. So Red Lotus. Someone here has something that you want. What is it, and why do you want it, and why won't they give it to you? Again, at this point, you can introduce new NPCs if you want, or link this back into existing ones.
I'm looking at the factions. Power of family of sway in court and in the Wulin. I'm thinking that in my bonds, I also established Ageless Sin, who is my rival thief, and I think that my good friend San Wang have notified me about another about another corrupt official who will be good to be exposed, and I know that Agatha also knows, and I'm trying to get it first.
Cool.
But I'm not sure if you want to make them again part of Shang family or part of something else. So it's a question like, to whom do we think the city where we are belong, and then we will make this person belong to this faction, or does it belong to no faction?
Yeah. So, I mean, I suppose ultimately, I think the city does belong to the emperor. There will be a governor in charge of the city. It could be the governor, I suppose.
Of course, let's make it epic. Like it cannot be easy. Governor Bao. Oh my god, I'm setting myself so hard on such a high level target.
So basically, he has. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, you're trying to get proof of his misdeeds.
Yes.
Misdeeds, obviously.
I'm trying to get the proof of his misdeeds before Ada Sins gets them before me.
Yep. Cool. And Lin Min, who here in the city at the moment, whose respect do you want more than anyone else, and what will you do to gain it?
I guess, well, festivities. Lots of people have come here, and there is one very famous warrior, martial artist. He's like the superstar or something.
Cool. Let's see if there's a suitably inspiring name on the list. I'm liking Desert Star.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And what will I do to? What was the question? To get their attention?
Yeah. What will you do to sort of get their respect?
No, the respect. Something foolish for sure. It will probably something equivalent of volunteer for the first dangerous mission thing that someone will ask in front of them.
Cool. That's great. And finally, Wei Xiaobao, who in the city have you caused grave offence to, and was it intentional or inadvertent?
I have caused great offence to Auntie Shang, and it was inadvertent.
Yes.
I think probably just wandering straight up through a big procession up towards Lian Shang and waving and walking straight past Auntie Shang, something like that, which was just innocuous and foolish, but such inetiquette behaviour that the guards are looking for me.
Excellent. So yeah, I'll put that you publicly snubbed her. I think is probably the best way of putting that. Cool. Great. So what we'll do now is I'll probably take actually a slightly longer break here, about 10 minutes, just to give me a chance to put together some of these ideas. So we'll come back at 5 past. And we'll run a few quick scenes to sort of get us into the swing of things. And yeah, cool. So yeah, see you all in 10. Cool. The one thing I did forget. I think I noticed a couple of you have done so already, but you can each gain a bond with one other player character of your choice. It doesn't have to be someone who you have an entanglement with, but it often makes sense. And these can be used for. You can basically spend a bond with someone to add +1 to a roll targeting them, or to you can also spend it to essentially boost their roll by 1. So it's a sort of little benefit type thing. You also gain 1 bond with your faction, with a faction, probably your faction, but it does not again have to be. But that's the last little bit of housekeeping, and so we can begin play. I think we'll just start with an establishing shot over the city. There's just been sort of a light rainfall, but it's quickly clearing away in the bright sun. You've got sort of a rainbow rising over the town, and the shower is quickly dispelled by the sun. The town is bustling. There are people out in the streets. There are decorations. There's people going backwards and forwards with various bits and pieces to make ready for the festivities. So I would like you, each of you, to tell me one thing that we see in the city streets that kind of speaks to the lavishness of the festivities that are about to take place, and one other thing that shows sort of the how sort of new life and new hopes are being born in the city. So yeah, I'll go through and start with Lian.
The Shang family have donated charitably, of course, all these exotic flowers and money and time to like the new mothers of the city, and like all these babies have like flowers near their hair, a different one for boys, different one for girls, whatever. And these new mothers are eating luxurious food and being seen to like they're royals for the current time.
Cool, that's nice. Yeah, and Red Lotus.
I think we see the Black Fox Brotherhood has set up in a couple of places in the city. In one place, maybe we see that there was like a arena for like acrobatic performances. In the other parts of town, we maybe like see preparations for like horse racing or like horse archery competition, and it's like all like organized by the Black Fox Brotherhood, who was kind of like trying to establish themselves as we are not only working against everyone else, we also work with others to boost their reputation. And about the spring you asked, I think we see that the city is slowly getting greener and greener, and the trees began to like have finally have leaves. So we see a lot of parts of the city are now green.
Nice, thank you. And Wei Xiaobao.
There are red peony flowers everywhere to mark good fortune and luck for the spring festival. These don't grow in the town, they grow in the districts further out, so they've had to be cut and harvested and are brought in and placed, especially on the main road to the town, every day as a mark of good fortune, wealth, and opulence.
Nice. And yeah, Lin Min.
Yeah, there are a few, not a lot, but a few really big silk banners with some exceptional calligraphy spread out. I think the calligraphy is more lavish, more luxurious than the actual silk, because it's probably from some, I don't know, monasteries that are very specialized and they only produce a few per lifetime and only per request.
Nice, thank you. Cool. Yeah, so yeah, you will all you'll all notice the effort and expense that's been put into preparing the city for the festivities, and I think we will start off in one of the sort of town squares near the governor's palace. It's sort of the big like yeah, I've lost the word I was looking for, but yeah, the big kind of sort of central forum type square of the city. Lian, what are you doing to kind of try and what task are you trying to arrange at the moment here?
I think currently Leon is actually doing the job her family asked her to do in a way. She and Miss Gimhui, and if he's willing, Wei, have set up what basically amounts to a tasting stand, and are like allowing the town to vote on, like, do you want plum wine? Do you want orange wine? Do you like what will be the free drink of the festival day? And like the kids have, of course, like different teas and things like that to try, but and like it's her turn to man the stand.
Excellent. Yes. So, Wei, do you think that you will have been roped into this?
Might have been intended to, but I think what Wei is doing is entertaining the children who are in the squares by juggling oranges. Has a big orange segment in his mouth and is juggling them and telling stories as a way of gathering a few new coins and getting out of real work.
Perfect. So, Lian, I think as you're manning the stall, Magistrate Cheng will turn up. He's got the his fine robes of office on, the those little tiny hat things over the over his long ponytail and the little wispy beard. My dear lady, I am. Well, it is, of course, every day is a pleasure when your beautiful visage brightens it. But really, could your mother not have found you a more fitting task, as befitting one of your station than, handing out drinks to the rabble?
I think behind him, Wei is juggling and pratfalling and pulling faces to try and make Lian Shang laugh.
Interesting. So, Lian, do you think that you are trying to not laugh here, or are you?
I think I'm good enough. Like I'll put a bit of the robe over the mouth and hit her at what, like almost like at what Jin's saying, like at the right time, but definitely at the antics behind me.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, I have no doubt that people will be overindulging in liquor, and there will be all sorts of shenanigans to deal with later.
I believe it'll be fine. My family wants to honor those that serve in other ways, and the festival is for all.
Of course, and I would not, I would never question the wisdom of your honored mother, of course. But yes, well, it is of course my duty to be ever observant for criminality and lawlessness, and I am sure that nothing, I will not permit anything to mar these great festivities.
I doubt anything will, especially with you looking over it. And Leon is like I think today the flowers are peonies in her hairpiece on her luxurious robes, and she motions for Miss Gimhui to grab like the 3 different alcohol types. And I imagine Miss Gimhui is sort of like the Chinese embodiment of a hobbit, almost rounder than she is tall, very sweet looking woman, smells just like your favorite food every now and again. And
Nice.
if you really want to serve the people, why don't you give me your choice for the drink?
Well, I am on duty. I really oughtn't. I really oughtn't drink anything. However, if it is as you say, to do my duty to your mother, then I shall be more than happy to take this sacrifice upon myself.
Indeed, you are so valorous.
And yes, he will take sips of the proffered glasses. So, I think the plum would be most suitable.
I'll keep that in mind. Definitely not going to be the plum now.
Cool.
I think perhaps I will point to this position in the square and say, "The magistrate is drinking on duty. What shame!" And then leg it at speed.
Nice. I'm just thinking, is this a? Yeah, no, I think that will happen. You magistrate Cheng will turn and see and say, "Good Lord, it's that incorrigible scoundrel. I will pay no mind. I will deal with him. Perhaps
You will do no such thing. He is my drinking buddy, and he meant no harm. He has been sampling much more dutifully than you were." A true man of honor can learn to forgive.
Excellent. I think we will go for a hearts and minds roll here. When you pressure someone susceptible to your words, that's what you're trying to get them to do, and roll.
I think I'm doing this with wisdom. So
Yep.
I'll roll with water.
Perfect.
Ooh, that is an 11.
An 11. And he will sigh and say, very well. I suppose you have the right of it. Today is not a day for heroic and valiant chases across the rooftop. I suppose we can let him go this once.
And honestly, do you think such a refined man as yourself should chase after a beggar?
I suppose you are right. It would not be the most impressive of collars, no.
Yeah, I will grin and like take a sip of orange wine.
Nice. So, Lin Min, what do you think you're up to at the moment?
I think for a moment we would see Lin Min like walking among the crowds, wide-eyed, looking at everything. And I imagine it like for a moment we lose him from the view, like the camera, and then the next scene is that he's involved in some sort of gambling that's going on the street on the open there, or maybe on the side, on the corner. Some sort of dice game stuff, like thinking like, yeah, of course. With my powers of observation, I can definitely win in this game.
Yeah, certainly. So yeah, there's this there's a dice game going on. Everyone's sort of squatting down on the dirt in this alleyway. They've got that kind of the bowl with the dice under it. Bets are going backwards and forwards. Pardon. Red Lotus, do you think that you might be involved in this in any way, or at least nearby?
And this betting is going in some like establishment or somewhere on the street?
Just somewhere on the street, yeah, just like in an alleyway, just off the main square.
I think that I can be somewhere on the square, so like nearby, maybe like throwing knives, or shooting the bow and arrow just on apple on someone's head, and just like also like inviting people to go for our performances and take part in our competitions. So definitely nearby.
Cool. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So. Sorry. Yeah. So. Lin Min, you are the I won't say dealer. That's not the word on his dice, but anyway, will be
entertainer.
Yeah, will invite you and say, so young man, can I? Are you feeling lucky today?
Luck has nothing to do with it.
Well, I'm. You may very well say that, but I guess we shall see whether the fortune shall decide this.
Indeed, we shall.
and he'll take your bet and roll the dice under the thing. Is there anything in particular you're wanting to do here, or like angling for a move, or just
No, I'm not angling for a move.
Yeah, cool.
I'm pretty certain that I will be losing. I will lose.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
you will lose. You will lose this bet.
I think I will just stop at the point before losing all of my money.
Yep.
Just one step before that.
And he'll say, well, sir, I whether or not luck was the deciding factor here, it certainly seems that whatever it was, you didn't have what it takes today. But hey, come back when you're a bit more flush, and maybe I can take some more of that money off of you.
And I think of it like he was gathering stuff while he was talking, and when he said the last part of this, he looked up to look at me, and I was already gone, like out of embarrassment, didn't say a thing, like just disappeared into the crowd.
Thing. Yeah. Cool.
I would actually like to try and intercept Lin before he vanishes in the crowd.
Go for it, yeah.
So maybe as you are like leaving this alley and just like going the other way, I just like go after you and I shout, Lin, wait.
What did you say?
Why are you going to gamble with this like street gamblers? We have like a proper establishment set up just in the just next to the big arena. They're not cheating over there. Why do you do it to yourself?
You mean he was cheating? Oh, of course, yes. Yeah.
Like,
you're right.
These people on the streets, they are, I'm sure I've seen you this like tricks of magic, like you show to the crowd like a deck of cards, and then you ask them to pick, and then you shuffle it in a special way, and you know which card they picked. It's these are just like tricks. Like, why do you like keep doing this to yourself? Anyway, maybe we should go together to one of those our establishments and play some legal gambling. We could like bet on horse racing or whatever you pick your fancy.
Sure. Yes. Yes. And I look down towards my pockets. But I think I will just watch for the rest of the day.
Okay. If you want, and you can see that Ming is like really happy that you decided to spend some time with her, and she'll like gladly take you to some like Black Brotherhood like establishment where you can like do some gambling and like invite you to play. It could be like
And as we walk through the crowds and probably in front of the palace, I probably get a bit distracted by some wine testing going on, but I try to regain my composure again and look the other way.
Are they walking by then? And I think Lian sees both Lin and Ming and raises a glass. Lin! Ming! Over here!
That's all the excuse I need.
And once they get over, Lian will come out and hug Lin real close, give sort of like a small bow to Ming. How are the two best buds in the world?
Oh, doing well. I was just like performing some tricks, inviting people to take part in our competitions, and we're just heading off to have some fun. What are you doing here?
work. Do you want to try some wine? I'm trying to narrow it down what to order.
Oh, of course, of course.
And so, what was this fun you guys were going to do?
I was just about to take Lin to some proper gambling facility, not some street gamblers. Because yeah, we have like one just like next to the big arena. They are still preparing, but I'm sure some betting is going on, and nobody's sitting there. I'm kind of like unintentionally shaming him again.
Oh, gambling. Lin, what do you think you're going to win?
Nothing really. I was just thought it was a good exercise to learn, to read others. But to be honest, I think my heart is better here. And saying these words, I look into no one in particular, like empty space. In maybe between Lian and Wei.
I think Wei left, didn't he? Or
okay, left complete. Okay,
yeah. And
anyway, I look at the space that he left behind.
And those are words, Leon. Oh, to gamble or stay here with Lin. Is this inner conflict?
I think this could be inner conflict. Yeah, definitely. We've not had one yet. So inner conflict. We had a couple of points where I thought we were coming close, but not quite hit one yet. But I think that's fair. So inner conflict. When you come to face with emotional turmoil and the pressure from an entanglement or personal issue, roll anything except your style element. So you cannot roll your style element for this one. On a 10 up, you keep yourself together. 7 to 9, you must either flee the scene or mark Chi until you make a change in the entanglement. So, how do you think you're trying to endure this temptation to leave your post?
With control, my worst stat. Oh, that's a 5.
Excellent. So, I think this is the as you're kind of considering, there is a sudden swish of silk behind you, and my dear, what are you allowing yourself to be distracted by this time? I thought you had work to do as your mother glides into the scene.
Oh, fuck. And Leanne will slowly, turn and was like, oh, mother. Well, my friends are part of the festivities. I wanted to get their choices of the wine, too.
Friends, really? This bunch of... Well, I know you do like to slum it, dear, but I suppose it can be forgiven given the nature of the festivities, but please don't make a habit of associating with these people.
Ming is very respectable.
Being called, I just wonder how will we address her, your mother?
Dowager.
Dowager, is this like a title?
Title, yeah.
So like Dowager Shang?
Yes, probably.
Okay. So yeah, Ming would make a deep bow. Dowager Shang, it's a pleasure to meet you. Your daughter is doing such a wonderful job over here on her post.
Yes, well, I would rather hope her aspirations were somewhat higher in life than to just be a common street peddler. But at least it's good to know that she has something to fall back on.
I believe that giving out the wine and tea in this manner will propagate good faith, the Shang clan, and gives reason for people to come to the center of town and see what we're setting up anyway.
Oh yes, I have no doubts that your contribution is very valuable. I am glad you are at least applying yourself with some dedication to it anyway, rather than whatever it is you get up to.
Yes, whatever it is I get up to. And like I think she's just imagining playing cards, dice, anything but this.
Cool. So, going to go over to Wei Xiaobao. So, on exiting the scene with the magistrate, where did Wei get up to? Or what did Wei get up to?
I think Wei tries just to go about his business, but we all know that the magistrate is a man of short temper and does not like being shamed, and has sent some of the city guards after Wei. So I think Wei is in a tea house, just sitting there enjoying his cup of tea, and in come the guards.
Yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, the guardsmen are going to come in. So, all right. So, what do you think you're doing in here, Wei? This place looks a bit expensive for a man of your means.
He will look up at his tea and smile at the guards and say, "I would say that goes double for you."
Well, I ain't exactly here for a pot of tea myself.
Come, sit. I will buy you tea. We can be friends.
He's going to the sort of the head, the sort of sergeant is going to shake his head, but he's going to take the seat opposite you.
I will wave over to the old mother who's steeping the tea and said, "There were young ruffians here. They were causing her trouble. I dealt with them. Now she's kind and gives us tea. Kindness is more important, do you not think, Sergeant?"
I ain't paid to be kind, Wei, I'm afraid. I'm paid to ensure that horrible little oiks like you don't go around causing trouble. All right. Now, my governor told me that you have been harassing the young lady Shang. We can't have that sort of behaviour now, can we, Wei?
No, misunderstood. Madame Lian Shang is my friend. I have been teaching her to dance.
Is that what they're calling it these days? Well, I think it would be in the best interest of you and your little friend if you were to make yourself scarce. Yeah? Find another tan to stay in. But get out of this one by sundown.
In the middle of the festival? I can't leave. How will Madame Shang finish her dance preparations if I'm gone? No, I will stay.
You aren't going to make this easy, are you?
I have smiled and been polite, and I have bought you and your men tea. Choices that you make here are yours.
He's going to pour out another cup of tea and drink it, and say, well, you do have my thanks for the tea. That was certainly a noble gesture of you. But lads, and he's going to click his fingers, and the two other men with him are going to go and try and grab you by the elbows, basically, and drag you off of the chair.
I believe I would probably like to fight the troops.
Certainly, yep, that's it. The move is called Fight the Troops. When you fight a group of foes who are collectively below your scale, roll. How does this look when they first grab you? What are you going to do you think?
He does effectively nothing. He grabs them. They grab him by the shoulders and lift him up. But as they do so, the still long bench he's sitting on flips over, tripping them by their feet and sending them falling backwards into the next table, where three large-looking labourers are sitting enjoying their tea.
Excellent, cool. So, if you could roll with your style element, please.
Okay, so I'm just reading my. Cool. So that will be with fire, because I think I'm going to use creativity and speed, which is the point that he'll just, as they flip over, he will flip over the desk and away. I'm going to make a break for it. So let's get my 2 dice. That'll be a 12.
Perfect. So on a hit, you defeat them and do so easily. Describe how sort of this looks as you get away from them.
Well, they grab him, and as he's pulled up, his feet slip, and the bench goes underneath them. Sending them out, sending them back into these labourers, who turn up, grab them, and start wrestling with the guards. The sergeant then stands up. But he's on the other side of the table. So at this point, where he does a little gentle bow and is out of the door at speed, as the sergeant and the troops are caught in another fight in the tea house.
Perfect. Okay, so we've got about 10 minutes now before we wrap things up. So I'm just going to do a quick buzz round of it. If anyone has a quick scene they want to do before we end for the evening. I'll start. I'll just go back through in order again. So I'll start with Lian.
I believe I've gotten a good amount of screen time. If anyone wants to frame a scene with me, I'm down, but I don't want to take up more screen time right now.
Sure thing. That's cool. Red Lotus, is there anything you want to do as a last scene?
I think as a sort of a continuation, Ming was very excited that Lin is going with her to this gambling, and now he decided, and now it looks like he wants to stay here. I'm not sure if I'm reading this right. I think Ming would like to convince Lin to go with her and maybe take part in some competitions and try to convince him you can make a big name for yourself. You can win, and everyone will know your name, and because yeah, she basically wanna like spend some more time with him.
Perfect. So yeah, you can roll Hearts and Minds. You can also use that move on PCs. So if you would choose whichever stat you want to roll with that you think represents sort of your approach in this.
But I'm not really but I'm not really sure like what was Lin Min idea in this like this scene. Is it okay for me to like try to convince you to do this or cool. Yeah, I think looking at this, I think it's like passion. Like she really wants to spend some more time and just like suggesting this like taking part in the competition is like because maybe she like heard about his problem, his like humiliation. She haven't seen it, but like she like will like hit this note and see what comes out of it.
Yeah.
Cool. Roll with fire. 2 dice. 7, 8.
8. Okay, so this move works slightly differently when you're targeting a PC with it. So on a 7, on a hit. Sorry, I'm mangling words today. If Lin Min goes along with you, they mark XP. If they don't, they mark a chi. They can burn a bond, a relevant bond, to avoid that if they want. As you've rolled a 7 to 9, if Lin Min marks chi, you also mark chi for this. So Lin Min, what are you going to agree to go with Red Lotus?
Yes, I am convinced.
Excellent. So you mark XP, and yes, the two of you head to a sort of. I mean, like a carnival is what I'm seeing here, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, yes. I imagine that there are some competitions taking part. Like it's gonna be like physical competitions or and then other kind of competitions, and Ming will like really try to like get him into go and take part in the competition with Ming, so that maybe this can be like we can see it like or have the results next session as and see what happens there.
Excellent. Yeah. So. Wei, are you happy with where you ended up, or is there a last little bit you would like to do this evening?
No, I think I am happy with that. I think I've established the character's voice, and I'm happy to.
Cool, that's brilliant. And finally, Lin Min, is there any last little bits you want to do this evening, or are you happy to wait till next time?
No, I think I'm good.
Cool. No, that's perfect. So we have one last little thing to do before the as part of the end of the session, and that is to go through entanglements. I know we're probably not going to have hit many this evening because obviously we didn't have a huge amount of time to get them all done. But I think a couple of you at least hit some here. I'll just go in order again and ask each of you if you think you have hit any of your entanglements today. Starting with Lian Shang.
I believe I may have hit the one I did bold with because I was tempted to go stay with Lin or go with, even though I don't know Ming is Yellow Whisper.
Yep. I think that's fair. I think you probably hit that one.
I don't believe the other one was even triggered.
No, that didn't really come up particularly this time, but almost certainly will soon. Red Lotus.
I think I was triggering a lot of the entanglements that I desire Lin Min, and I want to like spend some more time with him. So.
Yep, that's fair. I think you can definitely mark a point for that. Wei, one of yours is a definite yes here, but do you think you've hit any of your entanglements today?
Just definitely the highlighted one.
Yep.
Close to Lian Shang and have Magistrate Shen up.
Yep, that's
That
cool.
was the highlighted one. So what was that? Did I take 1 XP?
You take 3 experience for hitting your highlighted one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, cool. And finally, Lin Min, do you think you've hit any of your entanglements today?
I don't think I've quite hit the highlighted one, and definitely not the other one.
Yep, that's fair. But yes, you did get that point of XP for accepting the persuasion. So no, I think that's fair.
I'm not convinced that I've hit it actually, but the highlighted.
Yeah,
I think I will not take the XP for now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. As I say, yeah, I don't think you've quite hit either of them, unfortunately. But yeah, we can work on getting those in next time. That's not a problem. As I say, it's always a little difficult in these shorter sessions to get them hit. So that's perfect. So I think that's us finished for this session. So thank you very much, everyone, for playing. And I'm going to stop the broadcast now. So if anyone is out there watching, then see you later. And I hope you've enjoyed.